Anyone has any questions? Yesterday I was explaining you what is meant by a network. Is it clear, right? So network and network components will continue today also, but hope you understood, right? So what is the meaning of a network? Never call it as a network. Call it as a private network. It's not a public network. You will never see public network which is present in your hand. Okay, so you are creating a private network, you are assigning private IP address, you are creating private DNS, you are creating private Active Directory. Everything is private. Is it clear, right? So anyone has any questions? So I would like to jump towards the next topic for today. Okay, so what is the next topic for today, sir? It's important. So we know what is meant by a network. So if you talk about, I'm going to create a network. I'm going to create a network and I'm going to create server number 1. I'm going to create server number 2. I'm going to create server number 3. Multiple servers I can go and create it. Each and every server I'm going to assign, what is that? Private IP address. So 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2, 10.0.0.3, like that we are going to assign. Is it clear, right? We are going to assign. Now, you remember we provided what is the size of our network? What is that? 10.0.0.0 by 8. How do you calculate? What is the calculation for this one? If you mention 10.0.0.0 by 8, how many IP address? See, what is the size of this class? 100. We know that we'll count it and we'll say 100. What is the size of this network? 10.0.0.0 by 8. How do you know it? How do you calculate it? Is it clear, right? Very simple. We have a formula. We have a formula. First of all, let us go and understand what is meant by an IP address. So when was this IP address came into picture? An example of an IP address is 10.0.0.5. Yes or no? This is an IP address. And what is this IP address? Example, if you see 10.0.0.5. How many are there? 4. That is the reason this is called as IPv4. IP version 4. Is it clear, right? It is IP version 4, IPv4. And who created IPv4? Who is that? Who is the company which came up and say IPv4? So in 1983, there is a company called as Xerox company. Came up with the concept called as IP address. Xerox company came up with the concept called as IP address. Right? Understood, right? Now this is one IP address, IPv4. And if you see this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, all these things are called as, each one is called as octet. Octet, 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 octet. Is it clear, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 octets are there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 octets are there. Is it clear, right? So my question comes into picture is, sir, IPv4, how do you calculate it, sir? I don't understand. Now please write it down. In each octet, they assigned 8-bit of memory in each octet. That means 8-bit, 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 8-bit. One octet is equal to how many bits? 8-bit. How many octets are there in one IP address? 4. So total one IP address is equal to, what is the size? 32-bit. Please write it down. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, 32-bit or 32 bits. One IP address is equal to 32 bits. Keep it in your mind forever.
Sorry to interrupt, Kumar. Are you sharing your screen?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen, sir.
Okay.
Okay, you can log off and log in once again, sir, if you're not able to see.
Yes.
Okay, so 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 is equal to 32 bit. So one IP address is equal to, what is the size of one IP address? 32 bit. Each octet size is how much? 8 bit. How many octets are there? 4. Now tell me, in 8 GB, how many movies can fit? In 8 GB, how many movies can fit? You know some idea. But if I ask you in 8 bit, what can you store? In 8 GB, sir, in 8 GB, I can store 8 movies, right? In 8 bit, what you can store? In 8 bit, please write it down. In 8 bit, you can store a value from 0 to 255. Is it clear? So 0 to 255. That is the reason you go and check it out. Any IP address will never start or never starts with 257, 300, 400, 700, 900. You will not see. You will see IP address in the range of what? 0 to 255 only. You will see the range. You will never see anything called as 300, 900, 1000 dot like that one. 0 to 255 IP address only. Is it clear, sir? Anyone has any questions? One IP address is equal to that IP address is called as IPv4. How many octets are there? 4 octets are there. Each octet is how much size? 8 bit. In 8 bit, what you can store? 0 to 255. Is it clear, right? So very simple, sir. Now let's take an example. How do I calculate? Infosys company requires how many IP address? Infosys company requires how many IP address, sir? Okay, 10 lakhs. Now let us assume
Yes,
if
sir.
I go and mention, very good, sir. 10.0.0.0 by, if I mention here 24, what is the meaning of this 24? Very simple. First, there is a ready-made formula. I don't want to go with the formula. I want to go to the big things. See, very simple. 10.0.0.0.0 by 24 means how many IP address? Very simple, sir. This means here, how much I mentioned here? 24 bits are fixed. Is it clear, right? Fixed means you cannot change them. You cannot change them. 24 bits are fixed. You cannot change them. Okay, means what? Each octet is how many bits? 8. This one, this one, 8. So 8 plus 8 plus 8, how much? 24. You cannot change this value. You cannot change this value. You cannot change this value. Only you can change this value. This one octet is how much bit? One octet is how much size? 0 to 255. So you can add anything between 0 to 255. So let us go for it. I cannot change this one. So 10, I cannot change. 0, I cannot change. 0, I cannot change. But I can change here from 0 to 255. Added 0 here. 10 dot 0 dot 0 dot, sorry. What is that? 10 dot 0 dot 0 dot 2, 3, 4, 5. So last 10 dot 0 dot 0 dot 255. What is the size? How many IP address can fit here? 256, not 255. I'm adding 0 also. 0 to 255. So 250 IP address can be generated if you mention, what is that? 10.0.0.0 by 24. Is it sufficient for Infosys? But hope you understood the calculations. You have a ready-made formula. Don't need to worry about that one. I'm just explaining you the basics. So whatever you provide slash 24, that means 24 bits are fixed. You cannot change them. Is it clear, right? You cannot change them. So that is 10.0.0.0 by 24. 24 bits are fixed. Is it clear? Anyone has any questions? Is it clear, right? So now 10.0.0.0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.2. Now, array man, how many IP address are required for Infosys? How many IP
Yeah.
address? 10
10
lakhs.
lakh.
But 24, if I mention how much is IP address? How much is the size of the IP address? How many IP
56.
address can be created if it is 24? 256. Is it sufficient? Arey yaar, not sufficient, man. Then what should I do? Now let's go and change it. Now you participate and tell me. Now calculate it and tell me. 16 means what? How many bits are fixed?
2
16 bits.
bits.
So what should I do?
16 bits.
Huh? Yes, 2 octets. This is 8. This is 8. So you cannot change this value. You cannot change this value. Here, this one you can change it. This one you can change it. Yes or no? So example 10.0.0.0, 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2, 0.3. It will go up to 0.255. Yes or no? 0 is completed, but I can change this value also from 0 to how much? 255, right? So then 10.0.1.0, 1.1, 1.2, it will go up to 255. 1 is completed. Then what should I do? 2. So like this one, I can go up to how many times? 256 times. Like this one, I am going up to how many? 256 times. So if I mention 10.0.0.0 by 16, that means what? 256 into 256. How much? 65,536. Is it a big number? Yes or no? Is it sufficient for Infosys? No. Arey yaar, what is that, man? Are you getting me? So you get 65,536 IP address size. It's a good size, massive size. But is it sufficient for Infosys? No. Then what should I do? Tell me. Eh? Okay. So that is the reason why what I can do very straightforward. Now I can go and mention 10.0.0.0 by 8. Is it clear, right? So when I go and mention 10.0.0.0 by 8, what is the meaning of 8? This 8 bit cannot be changed. This one I can change how many times? 256 times. This one I can change how many times? 256 times. This one I can change how much time? 256. What is the probability? Is it sufficient for Infosys? 1.678 crores. Is it clear?
Yes.
Is it sufficient for Infosys? This is the
Yes.
way you calculate it. Hope you understood the basics. Is it clear, right? Now the next thing will come into picture. Sir, what will happen? Sir, what is one IP address? So 10.0.0.0 by 25. Now tell me. If anyone mentions, if anyone is providing 8, 16, 24, you are able to calculate it. But if I mention anything 25, how do you calculate it? How do you calculate it? Very simple. There is a formula. I explained you the basics. There is a formula. What is a formula? Very straightforward. One IP address is equal to how much size? One IP address.
32
32
bits.
bit. So 32 bit.
32 bit.
How much he has mentioned here? 25
25.
minus 25. How much? Huh?
7.
7. Yes
7.
or no? That's it.
Yes.
2 to the power of 7 IP address. That's it. 128. Sorry, 128. That's it. Simple. Let us take an example. You understood 10.0.0.0 by 24. How did we calculate it? 3 bits are fixed. Here 0 to 255. Use the formula. What is the formula? 32 minus 24. How much? 8. 2 to the power of 8. Understood? And sir, what are the IP address? 256 IP address. What is the first IP address starts with? This is the first IP address starts with. And add how many IP address? That's it. For your example, let me show you answer. You only answer it, sir. Tell me this one. Please tell me first one and second one. Calculate and tell me.
First one 2 raised to 7.
What is that? What is that? First
2
one?
raised to 2 raised to 7.
2 power 7. Very good.
Yes.
2 power 7 is how much?
Just
128.
How much?
128.
128. Okay. What's the first IP address starts with? How many IP address? 128. So what's the first IP address?
10.0.0.0. 2.
So
10.
yeah. 32 minus 25, 7, 2 to the power of 7, 128. What is the first IP address? This one, sir.
Yes.
10.0.0.0, 0.1, 0.2, up to how many?
128.
10.0.0.127. 128 means 0 also you added 128. Can you calculate this one?
Yes. Same 2 raised 2 power 7.
No, 2 power 7. Very good. And then what?
128 start with sir. 10.10
Yeah.
dot
The
128.
IP address starts with 10.0.0.128, 129. It will go up to 255. So that is the difference between these two things. Is it clear, right? Now you remember, right? Why? What is this one? So I can do like this one. Now you will get all the points which are connected. You remember VPC? VPC Infosys is 10.0.0.0 by 8 means what? Nearly 1.67 crore is the size of my Infosys network. What is the size of one subnet? You remember what is the subnet? You can cut your subnet into small piece. What is the size of this piece? Then you can come up and say, array, here only I need 128 servers in this. So what I will do? 10.0.0.0 by what is that? Is it clear? Now someone will come up and say, create one subnet man. Array, only top 10 servers only should be created, no other things. Then 10.0.1.0 by 28. What is 28? Can you calculate and tell me?
Power 4.
Yeah, 32 minus, there is no need to worry about anything. 32 minus 28, how much? 4. 2 to the power of 4, how much? 16. 16 IP address can fit here. Is it clear, right? So this is the way you calculate your IP addresses. Is it clear, guys, everyone? For everyone? If it is clear, I'm going to ask one question. Please tell me, what is this? 10.0.0.4, right? Versus 10.0.0.4 slash 32. What's the difference? Tell me the answer. Good. Tell me. Use formulas and tell me the answer. What's the first one? What's the
Both are
second one?
same.
Huh?
Both are
Okay.
IP address.
Both are same, sir. So first one is how many IP address? How many?
IP address.
Huh?
One.
Single IP address, sir. 10.0.0.4 is one IP address. If anyone mentioned like this one, what is the meaning? Array, this is not one IP address, sir. No. Calculate it, sir. 32 minus
32.
32 minus 32 minus 32. How much?
0.
0. 2 to the power of 0. 1. Either you write like this, either you write like this. Both are same. Use your mind. So please write it down. What is that one? In normally maximum octet. If you see here, right, what is this maximum value? It can be 32 only maximum. So minimum is slash 8, maximum is slash 32. But write it down. That is one IP address. but generally people will go for maximum /8, minimum /24, 28, but /32 is nothing but one IP address. Is it clear, online people?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anyone has any questions, don't mind, please ask me. Hey guys, hey sir, what is that you're speaking? I'm not able to understand. Please help me out. You can reach out to me also. Okay, so don't worry about that one. Is it clear, right? What is meant by an IP address and how do you calculate your IP addresses? Is it clear? Now let us understand another thing, sir. Every time, whatever example I provided, I'm taking an example of what is that 10 dot. Why? I can go and take an example of 11, 12, 13, 14, right? No. So let's please write it down. So when you are trying to create a network, your network, in front of a network, what you need to add? Your network is a
Private network.
private network. So whenever you are creating a private network, what you need to assign? Private IP addresses. How do you assign private IP address and public IP address? So how do you know which one is a public IP address, which one is private IP address? You have something called as what is that? Private IP address classes. Please write it down. These are the standards provided by International Community of Networking, Internet Stuff. We call it as RFC. They come up and say they provided some standards. Everyone has to follow these standards. Private IP address classes. For your example, if you want to create any private network, you need to follow class A, class B, class C, class D, class E. You have these many things. Sir, if I want to create a private network, what is class A? Class A starts with what is the IP address? 10. If you see any IP address starting with 10, it is what type of an IP address? Class A. Class A means what? What is that? Private. Close your eyes. Thumb rule in the world. It's a private IP address.
Private IP address.
It's not public IP address. I'll tell you private IP address. So what when do you use classes, sir? Why what is the definition of a class A? If you want to create a very large network. Infosys is a big network. TCS is a big network. When you want to create a very large network, if you want to create a private network, very large network, they suggest you to go for class A. Example of a class A is 10.0.0.0 by what is that? 8. If you see any IP address 10, what is the meaning? Private IP address. Class A private IP address. Sir, what is class B? Class B is designed for what is that? What is that? Large network, not very large network. Example, any IP address which is starting with 172.16, 17, 18, 19, 20 till 31. Anything between 172.16 to 31. Any IP address, it comes under class B. It is also what IP address, sir? Private IP address. You see 172.16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 till 31. All are what? Private IP address. Example, what is the maximum size? 172.16.0.0 by 12. These many IP addresses can be created. It is for large network, not very large network. What is class C? Most of the people knows class C. This is if you want to create what is that? Smaller network. Example, you know it, sir. 192.168. Have you heard about this? Your laptop, all the laptops by default IP address will be 192.168. Example of this one maximum is 192.168.0.0 by 16. Class D and class DE, I will not explain you. This is for future purpose and this is for multicasting purpose. And we don't use it right now. but it is depends upon company to company. Most of the companies uses class A, class B, and class C. You see the IP address. If you see the IP address, if you see the IP address 10.0.0.0.0 by 8, 172.16 to 172.31, any IP address in this three range are called as what? Private IP address. Okay, private IP address. What is private IP address? Can anyone tell me? What did I explain yesterday? Private IP address means what? IP address can communicate only internally. Just remove your private IP address if you are not able to understand. Add roll number in your mind. In your class, you have a roll number. Is it unique? Like that one only. In my network, I have a unique ID. That is IP address. That is my internal purpose only. I want to. His name is Chinna. Chinna is also Chinna. What should I do? I'll go and make it registration number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's unique. In Kelly Technologies, hey, who's registration number 1? This guy. But you go to another basically institute and say registration number 1, is it unique? No. So internally, I want to assign one unique IDs. That is called as what? Private IP address. They are not unique in the world. Then unique in the world is what? Public IP address. How do I know? This IP address are private. Other IP address are public IP address. For your example, is easy, sir. Can you tell me? I think I'll change it right now. Very simple. Now tell me. I'll write list of IP address whether it is public or private. Let's go for it. Please go for it. What is the first IP address?
Sir, first one is public.
What is the IP address? Is it public IP address or private IP address?
Public
It's a
First one
public
is
IP
public.
address. Very straightforward. It's a public IP address. Array, is it coming under 10 series? First one,
No.
is it coming number 172.62.31? 192, so that's a public IP address. Public IP address are unique in the world. If I assign one IP address to her, it's like an Aadhaar card. Unique. No one in the world can again repeat it. Next one.
private
Private.
Private IP address. What series?
10 series.
10 series.
Class A. Is it a private or a public?
Private.
Very good. Third one.
Public.
Private.
Absolutely wrong. It's a
Private.
public IP address.
Public IP address.
172.16 to 31. What is this?
Private IP.
192.0.
It's a private IP address. Use your eyes properly. 172.16 to 31 I mentioned. Here what did I written? 32. Is it public or private?
Public.
It's a public IP address. It's a public IP address 172.32. Next one.
It's 192. Public IP address.
It's a public IP address 192. Is it ending with 168? It's a public IP address. Next one.
Public IP address. Both.
This one.
It's private IP
Private.
address.
Absolutely wrong. You don't have any IP address called as what is that? 255. This is an invalid IP address. Got it right? See it properly. So you don't have all the series will be 0 to 250.
255.
How can you mention 256 here? That means you have entered wrong. Is it clear, right? Anyone has any questions? Anyone has any questions on this part? We'll talk about it. You don't require multicast. Those people, so you don't require it right now. Most 99% of the people will use class A, class B, and class C. Now, what are the important IP addresses? Networking is not a small topic, sir. Networking is a big topic. You know telecommunication? Are you getting internet in your home? That is also internet. That is also network. You can create your private network. Lot of things are there. That is the reason in IP address, lot of standards are provided. Let us go through the standards. What are those standards are there? Okay, sir. So how do you know? So if you see here, sir, see here, sir. These are the standards across the world. If you see 10 series, 10 series belongs to what? 10 series 10 dot belongs to what?
Private.
Private network.
Private.
Private network. These many IP address can be created used for private network. Array, I know, sir. Very good. 11 belongs to what? Public. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, yes or no? And then what is this? 100.64. Array, you did not mention, sir. 100.64 is private network, but not private network for local communication in private network. This is for what? Share something else. This is a standard they mentioned. Everyone should follow like this one. Next one, please write it down this one. 127. Can anyone tell me what is 127.0.0.0.1?
Back IP.
What is that?
Local
Back
host.
IP.
Local host. Please write it down. This is not a public IP address. It's a local host. It's a very important interview question. 127.0.0.0.1 or 127.0.0.0 by 8. This is for loop back address to local host. What is your self computer? You want to hit your computer, how it knows the IP and everything. They use this, okay? Loop back address. Next one. Write it down, this one also. Please write it down. This one we've used it in AWS. 169.254. And I'll ask you next time, what is this IP address? Don't come up and say public. 169.254 is used for link local address. Write it down and make a star mark. We are going to use this one in AWS, and this one we'll use it in next somewhere between 10 days, somewhere you will see it. There is no need to write everything. You can write these two things, 127, 169. Now, can you tell me what is this series? 172.16. What is this? Private class B. See, private IP address class B. And the next one, 192.0, which we don't know, which is something else. This is a standard for EFTF protocol assignment, blah, 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 blah is there. We don't need to worry about that one. So that is the reason why you have multiple series. And the last one, what's the last one? 192.168 belongs to what?
Private network.
Class C. Is it clear, right? These are the standards, sir. Hope I clearly explained you what is meant by this one. Online people, is it clear, sir?
Can you repeat this once again?
No, these are the standards across the world. Like international, see, you have 10 series, that's a standard, right? Someone has mentioned use 10 series only. Like that one, in the total whole networking, there are some standards. They mentioned like these are the IP address we need to use for this purpose, this purpose, this purpose, this purpose. And in that one, which are the most important thing for our interview kind of a thing, class A, class B, and class C we know. And also we need to also keep it in your mind, this one also, very, very important, sir. Fine, guys? Okay? So this
That
is, yes, sir.
169.254 is used for
It is
link.
used for link local address.
What it means?
We will talk about it. That's the reason I said you right. Just write it down and make a star mark.
Okay, sir.
We use for EC2 metadata. So what is that? When EC2 topic comes, we'll go for. But very, very important for AWS DevOps guys.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So then let's go and continue, sir. Let's erase all. Now I would like to continue one thing. What is meant by a private network? So what is the meaning of a private network, sir? As I mentioned you. So very, very important. This is my network. Yes or no? And I can go and create server number 1. I can go and create server number 2. I can go and create server number 3. I can go and create server number 4. Lot of IP address I'll create it. What is the size of this network? You will go and provide what is that? CIDR example 10.0.0.0 by 16. Based on that, you can create it. Each and every IP address, I can go and create 10.0.0.1, 0.2, 3, 0.4. Now, this server, this servers, all the servers, this is what is that? They can communicate internally, yes or no. They can communicate internally, yes or no? Yes?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, four servers are there. Server number one is communicating to server number two. Server number two is communicating to three. Three can communicate to one. All this thing vice versa. But the problem here is what is meant by private network? Private network means it's like this classroom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 IDs, 6 people unique IDs. You people can communicate to each other. Now this guy wants to go outside. It's a private. It means what? I cannot go and talk outside. I can only communicate within my network, not outside. Outside, it cannot understand. Private IP address can only use inside private network. If you go outside, what is the meaning of outside? If you want to go into public, your IP address cannot be understandable. Okay, sir, if you go and see server number 1, 2, 3, 4, they can communicate to each other, but server number 1 wants to communicate to Google server. So server number 1, 2, 3, 4 needs internet. Internet means public, right? But private network means what? No internet. Within the network only they can communicate. Arey yaar, what is this one? What is this one, sir? This is very, very bad. I need internet on my network. In my internet in my network. So let us go. How do you get internet in your home? How do you get a internet in your AWS? Very important section, sir. Very, very important. The topic which I am going through until now, it is you already understood 50% of VPC. You already understood 50% of Azure. In Azure also you have a networking, right? Same, no difference. Same to same. Let me open Azure and I'll showcase to you when I create a VPC. These topics are quite common. There is no difference between AWS, Azure, GCP, IBM, nothing. Okay? So how are you thinking? Your thinking was wrong. Like you feel you have your own laptop. Yes or no? You have your own laptop in your home. Yes or no? You are typing a www dot what is that? Google.com. And remember, your laptop is having local IP address. Yes or no? Yes or no? 192.168.0.1. Is it unique in the world?
Yes.
Is it unique in the world, this IP address?
No.
No. It's unique in the world? No. Now you type google.com. So what is happening in your laptop? Everyone in your home is having internet, yes or no? Yes? None of the people are having internet. No one is having internet actually. Sir, what is this nonsense, sir? I take google.com, it is working fine. No, sir, you don't have direct internet, you have indirect internet. What is this word, sir? Why are you introducing new words? Let me prove it. So, you in your laptop, you are clicking google.com. So, google.com server is here. And what is happening in the background? What is Google IP address? Example, what is this IP address, public or private? Public, unique in the world. So 11.1.1.1 unique in the world. So exactly unique in the world, it will go and hit here. And it is going and it is taking a help of what is that? Okay. Google, now you are asking whether Kelly Technologies AWS Kumar will he provide proper training or is a waste guy? You are asking for a review. Okay, it will go to the Google. Google will go and connect to the database. Just take an example I'm providing and it collects my data and it gets back to you. Now Google will say, I am ready with the data. Where should I throw this data to you? You should receive the data, right? Where should I throw? Now, what is your IP address? 192.168.0.1. Is it unique in the world? No. Then how are you getting internet, sir? You have, let's take an example. What's your name, sir? Sudarshan. Sudarshan is present here. Sudarshan, IP address is 192.168.0.1. What's your name, sir? Prasad. Prasad is also present is here. 192.168.0.1. Yes or no? Now, what's your name, madam? Manpreet is here. Manpreet is asking for Kumar data. It went loaded. Now this Google will say, array, my data is completely loaded. Where should I throw? You cannot come up and say throw back to 192.168.0.1. Is it unique in the world? Every network 192.168, right? Then how she is exactly getting the data? Is it clear, right? She should not get exactly the data. Then how she is getting? That is the reason no one is having direct internet. Everyone is having indirect internet. Sir, what is the meaning of indirect internet? So let us go through. So what's happening? So let me go and explain you. What is happening in your home? You have your laptop. You type www.google.com. What's happening, sir? This IP address. What is IP address? Is it a local IP address or a public IP address? Local IP address, you type google.com. What's happening, sir? Actually, your computer will not understand anything called as except local IP address. Your computer will not understand anything google.com. Google IP address, what did I say? Example. So, what is happening? See, sir, very, very important. From your laptop, it has to go to what is that? Google, right? Yes or no? And is it having a public IP address or private IP address? Private. Private. This is private. Then how I will communicate and how I am receiving between you, between Google. Keep it in your mind forever in your life. Who you are accessing google.com, that means you are called as, write it down. What is that? What is this one?
Client.
What is that? Google.com. This is called as
server.
there is a between anyone is communicating between client and a server, there is one mediator. What is that? What is that? Internet service provider. You are paying
provider.
1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees for your internet, no sir? So ISP, Internet Service Provider. Sir, what is the beauty of Internet Service Provider? You click google.com, this request will go and send it. Hey ISP, I want to go to google.com. So what will do? ISP will write it down. ISP will then send it to this server and say, hey Google, hey 11.1.1.1, please load Kumar's reviews. Now the question comes into picture. You directly send it to google.com. ISP sending to google.com. What's the difference? The difference is this ISP is assigned with one public IP address. So it will say, hey, 11.1.1.1, please go and load Kumar data. When Kumar data is ready, please send it to 18.1.1.1. Is it unique in the world? Yes.
Yes.
Public IP address 18.1.1.1. Is it unique in the world? Your ISP
Yes.
is assigned with one public IP address. Google will load Kumar pages and say, hey, I am ready. Where should I throw? 18.1.1.1 means exactly 18.1.1.1 is unique in the world. It will go and get it. Once it gets it, it will go and write it down. What it will go and write it. This computer name is X, right? X is asking for what is that? Google.com. Once it little Google.com, it say, oh, where should I throw? What is this? X. Then this ISP will send data back to you. You are getting the data. Is it clear, right? Between you and server, something is in between. What is that? ISP in your home, internet service provider. An internet service provider is having what IP address? Public IP address. How do I know? See, I am talking right now. I am talking right now. And online people are able to hear. My data packet, when I speak, is going to online people. How? Exactly to them. How? Because in between, what is there? ISP IP address. What is my IP address? So how do I know which is my ISP IP address? Go here and type in Google Chrome my IP address. So when you go and click on my IP address, you will see whenever I'm using this is my IP address 183.83.39.0. It is for me, my ISP IP address. And using who is my ISP?
Act.
Act. This 183.83.29 belongs to which place? Which is this server present?
Telangana, Hyderabad.
Telangana, Hyderabad, Amirpet. Is it clear, right? So as an example, let me tell you, I am present in google.com. My request will go and ISP is present in that building, in the first floor building. In the last floor, there is an ISP. Big server will be there. Area to area, you will have ISP. From here, it is going to there. From there, it is going to Google. And then Google is coming back to it, and then it is coming and responding back to me. This is the way your internet is working. Your private network, write it down. Your private network by default will not have any internet. No internet. Private network generally will not have any internet. But if you want to add internet, what are you doing if it is in your home? You are adding one mediator. What is that mediator? ISP. That is in your home, yes or no? For your home. Private network don't have any internet, first of all. Not my home, I need internet. So that is the reason, are you paying 1,000 rupees, 500 rupees, 600 rupees or anything? That is your ISP, and that will be assigned with public IP address. Now when you talk, the data is going out. That is the reason why most of the people think whatever website you are using, whatever website you are browsing, right? No one is observing. I'm clicking in incognito mode and checking out, right? No, everything is stored in where? ISP.
Yes.
That is the reason. Let us take an example. Your name, sir? I don't like Sudarshan. I want to send a mail. Sudarshan, I am very jealousy about Sudarshan. I get angry and I'll send a mail to Sudarshan with other email ID. Sudarshan, I'm going to kill you. Sudarshan will go and complain to police station. Police will catch me in 5 minutes. Why? I am present here. I am sending email ID to sudarshan.com. My email is going through here. ISP. And ISP is under Indian government. Everything. And Sudarshan is this guy. From here, he will get a mail. And he will be very much afraid. Sir, I got a mail. He'll go to police station. Police station, you get that mail, right? You don't need to see any email ID. You have a metadata of email ID. It will have the information about what? 18.1.1.1. They will log into this 18.1.1. He got a mail at 3:38. They go and check on the data 3:38. It has the information of what? X. Who is X? So they can come and catch me. Is it clear, right? That is the reason. Don't think no one in the world is watching. Then you may have a question. Sir, how this hacking is happening then? How hacking is happening? How DDoS attack and all this thing happening? They are happening from hostile countries. Like for your example, you are in United States. I am in United States. I send a mail to Sudarshan. United States and India are close friends. So Indian government, what they will do, we are getting a threatening frame from what is that 18.1.18.1.1.1. United States, can you please help, because this is coming from your place. United States people will take it, they go and they'll catch. But what will happen? A mail came from Pakistan. Indian government will write a mail to Pakistan governance. I got a threatening mail from 18.1.1.1. Please catch them. Will they catch? That is the reason why big hacking is happening from hostile countries. United States is hacked from China, North Korea, Russia, where these people cannot do anything. Is it clear, right? Apart from this one, everyone can caught. When a ransomware attack happened in 2017, United States people know the attack happened from North Korea, which street, which building, which floor, which block, which is that particular person, but they can't do anything. Because they cannot go to North Korea, right? They are not allowed. That's keep it in your mind. Is it clear? Yes or no? In my home, I don't have internet. I am getting internet with the help of ISP. Same thing will happen here, sir. Please write it down. Important topic. Same thing. Now this is my Infosys network. Infosys network is private or public?
Private.
Private network will have internet. Yes or no?
No.
No. As I mentioned you just now, what is there? By default, private network have no internet.
No.
Even in Infosys, I'll go and create it. I have hundreds of systems. There is no internet, but I go to Infosys, sir. I've seen internet there also. All the laptops is having an internet. How are you getting internet? As I mentioned you, private network by default, no internet. So what should I do? I should add one medium, right? So that is the reason. Please write it down. If it is a VPC, if it is a private network, and I don't have one laptop like your home. Now how many 1 lakh servers are there? So how all the 1 lakh servers should have internet? Yes or no?
Yes.
So that is the reason we will go for, I'll go here and create one server. Please write it down. Please write it down. NAT, NAT. Network Address Translator. Network Address Translator. This is a mediator, sir. Right now, mediator NAT. So what will happen? So very, very important. Now, can anyone tell me? This is Infosys network. When I create this server, what IP address will be assigned? Huh? Private IP
NAT.
address. When I create this server also, what IP address will be assigned?
Sorry.
N.40.0.5. And this is a mediator between your, what is that? Client and
Server.
server. So you will be adding, write it down. NAT will be also assigned with one. So private IP address plus one public IP address. Example 19.1.1.1. It's a public IP address I'll assign to the NAT. NAT has private IP address and public IP address. So what happens right now? Here I type google.com. What is google.com? Your computer will not understand. Google.com request will be sent it to the NAT. NAT will write it down. Server number 1 is asking for google.com. From here it will send google.com. This server will load it and it will say Google data is ready. Where should I throw? Throw back to 19.1.1.1. So it will exactly send it here. Once it receives, check it out. Array server number 1 is asking for google.com. Then this one will send the request back to here. So private network is getting internet with the help of what is that? NAT. Please write it down. Okay. NAT is a mediator, and with the help of NAT, private network will get internet. NAT is having public IP address and private IP address.
One question.
Yes, sir.
In Infosys, there is no any ISP there.
I'm
It
just telling.
means
No, sir. Everything in the world is having ISP. In Infosys, people will go and buy public IP address, and public IP address are coming from ISP only.
okay.
Any questions, anyone? Understood, right? This network means this server can internally can communicate. These don't have internet. But if I want to enable internet in my private network, you need NAT. So when you create a NAT, NAT is created. Whenever you create a server in your network, what is assigned? One private IP address. But NAT should talk to the public world. So you will be assigning what is that? Public IP address. And then what will happen? You type google.com from here, the request will take it here and it will go there. Hope you understood what is meant by a NAT. Anyone has any questions? Network Address Translator. I'll stop it here. One topic I just want to go, which is very, very, very important. Let me go and cover that one on Monday. Today is Saturday, right? Monday. Let us go for Monday. That is very, very important. We'll talk about that one. All the things, whatever I provided is bullshit, absolutely wrong if I don't explain that topic. Okay?